green screen on my work laptop, but not on my personal, because my personal one's like an $800 laptop and my work one is a $5,000 laptop.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening. Not today.
Yeah. So it's got a much better graphics card. It has its own separate graphics card on my work laptop, and my personal one has an integrated one, so it's not as strong.
I need an IT support person everywhere I go.
Well, apparently I do too.
Hey, Beth, can you make it so I can share my screen for a second so I can show Maria where to turn it off, please?
Now, how come this didn't come up this weekend?
Not sure.
So why is it coming up on my computer now?
It's a nice picture, but all I see is your ears, really.
Because your face is in front of your face. There we go.
Maria squared.
I'm just going to turn my video off.
You should be able to share, Stacia. I have it set as one participant can share at a time, and I'm not sharing.
I can share now, but before it said that the host had that turned off.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Now
didn't.
have something else.
Can you see, Maria? Are you
All right.
seeing, do you see my screen yet?
I do.
Okay, so like if I turn this on, see, this is the one I don't have a green screen on. This is my personal laptop, so it doesn't work very well. But if I want to turn it off, I go to none.
All I have is the bridge, the one next to it, and the moon or whatever the hell that is on the right. I don't have a none.
Well, I'll stop sharing and you share, and then I'll tell you what to unclick.
So I have a question. Where are you actually getting to that? In what settings?
If you double click the little, if you open up the Zoom app, the part that has the login and schedule and all that, if you click the little dial, gear wheel, it takes you into the settings, and then you go down.
You're doing it in the Zoom?
Here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I go down here, and I have Windows, not an Apple. So I
have Windows too.
I double click Zoom and it opens up. Then I go here, and then I go down to virtual.
All I'm seeing is your main screen. Okay.
Do you not seeing me? My Zoom setting?
Now we are.
There's a delay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I click this little settings gear. And then when it opens up all the settings, I go down to virtual background.
Okay, I'll have to check that. So you actually create your virtual background in Zoom?
Well, on my work one, I have lots. I have like 30 different pictures. They're just pictures I download. That I've got one that's got a couch in hell.
Right, but it's not on your it's not your computer settings, it's Zoom settings.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I don't know. I have everything turned off, so I don't know why it's showing up.
Okay.
Well, Maria's head for posterity.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. So we all, obviously, I think everybody here. Hey, Katie, how are you? There you go.
I was muted, sorry.
That's all right. So I don't know. I think we're going to have a few more people joining us. They're probably just running late. I know Emily was getting on.
There she is.
There's Terry.
It's just 8:30 now. Yeah.
Okay. I know Emily has they have a hurricane coming right at them.
No bueno.
So I'm not sure. She was hoping she wasn't going to lose power, but it was getting pretty bad. And for those of you that we told that we were not going to be here this weekend, that has changed because we are not going to go up to Georgia because the hurricane is headed that direction. So yeah, it's making a turn. So anyway, we're not going up because we got, I mean, it's hard to clean out 3 storage units when it's pouring rain and you have tornadoes coming at you.
Yep.
So we're going to stay put.
There's no point in doing that.
So anyway,
Really wish I could get rid of my big head.
okay. So Lynn and Walter, you're on mute. I don't know if you want to share your joke with everyone or.
We don't have a joke.
I was laughing at Maria's big head.
It's a fat head.
Okay. Okay. So Maria, you are the laughing stock of the year.
Don't take it personally.
No.
I don't.
So obviously it was a fabulous, fabulous weekend, despite the fact that we had to be able to not all be together. So I thank all of you who joined us on Zoom to be able to at least have some discussions here and there and wave hello. We didn't quite get, brought to the big screen, except when Emily was doing her crazy dance, and then they did it so fast it was like I couldn't even think about it. So anyway, there's so much to start with, and I have some things that I want to review. First of all, I want to know, was anybody on Colin's recap last night that he did?
Yes, it was fabulous.
I unfortunately didn't see it until like 9 o'clock.
Okay. Anyone else on it?
No.
So I do want to go over, because as we've talked about before, whether you've been with us before or you're brand new, hello, Joan, you're floating around like Maria, but Maria's got a big head behind her and you've got the bridge. So that's all right. We don't mind. As long as you're there. She looks like she's getting windblown.
That's the thing. It's really freaky when you move. Things disappear.
You're on mute, Joan, and it doesn't. You can be on mute or not. It doesn't matter. But
Hi.
Anyway, so here's the thing. We've talked about it before, whether you've been on with us or you're brand new. There is a rhythm to the business, and Colin laid out very beautifully last night. And I am not going to go over everything he talked about because it was recorded and we can send it out to you to listen to. But and I know not all of you are in the Southeast region, but I want you to know that because everything is Zoom right now, it really doesn't matter what region anybody's in. Other than if you want to plug into your local area for local things that are going on, then obviously we've got to get you connected to that local area. But as long as you're picking out and getting on things to be able to keep yourself plugged in and moving forward. Because I'm going to ask you this, I mean, was this week inspiring to anybody? Okay, so that's why we have to go to events, because it keeps us in the game. It keeps us going. It keeps us motivated. And that's why we have challenges, is so that we can move from one event to the next event with something that keeps us on track. So the challenge is our checklist that we do. If you want to stay accountable, then you do the weekly checklist, and we'll go over that in a minute. If you don't want to stay accountable, that's fine. And you can get on here and listen in. But if you want to stay accountable and move forward, then you need to be doing a weekly checklist. And then those weekly checklists feed into the challenges where you get to be recognized for your achievements, that you actually met a challenge. And then the, what we call the local challenges. So for a Saturday event, that's a local, will feed into the regional challenges, and the regional challenges are already up and running. So we want to get those to those of you who want to be able to achieve those. And the regionals are taking place in November, and they've all been combined. Again, because everything's virtual, there's no point in having 4 different events. It just doesn't make any sense. And then those regional challenges feed right into World Conference Challenge, which is 6 months from what we just finished. So everything is out there to keep you on track. So you just have to determine what's your commitment level to what you want. Well, first of all, what are your goals? What's your commitment level? And how are you going to keep your mindset in the game to be able to overcome this? Because as anyone who's been around, you know, a couple of months already knows, you have up days, you have down days, you have up days, you have down days, and every time we have an experience, if we get a no or somebody beats us up, it's so easy to draw back. But if we know what we're headed towards with a challenge and a checklist, it keeps us on track. And then it's the communication. So you'll see that I put out in the text group, and I know some of you are working full time. That's why I put out in the text group. And I know some of you, like Joan, you're, well, you are in the text group. I'm trying to look here. Katie, you're not in the text group. I think everybody else is in that text group that we had for this weekend. So that's why I just asked who wanted to be removed, because I know some of you are working full time and you don't want your phone pinging all the time. I get that. But then you've got to figure out how are you going to stay up to speed day by day to keep yourself in the game to meet your goals. And that's what we have the Facebook group for. And then obviously you can turn to the person who personally sponsored you and say, if, you know, this is what I need. And if it's not that you're communicating in that text group, that's fine. I want that text group to be communication, that we want to stay in communication on a daily basis so we can keep each other motivated, moving forward. I'm not saying we need to constantly, and I know right now you guys are hitting like and love to people's posts, but keep in mind, every time you hit like or love to a post, everybody gets pinged. So we just have to determine what is the level of interaction on that text group, because people are still working. So with that being said, I really want to find out, you know, JR and Lauren did an incredible job yesterday. And Pip and I were talking on the way home late last night.
We listened to JR from the time we left Lori's house until we got to JC's house in Davenport. He was still going strong.
Yeah, he was.
But we had it on the whole time
We had it
and
on.
listened to him.
That
And
was
what
my
he covered,
ride home, or 7-hour ride home last night.
he did it at a much deeper level, but what he covered is the mindset and the attitude portion that we've been covering for over a year on these calls. And the number one thing that he was talking about is you have to have the belief in yourself. It starts with that belief. It starts with positive affirmations, positive thoughts. And anytime you start questioning yourself and you question your thoughts, that's what you're putting out into the universe. Now, you know, whatever you believe spiritually, we're not talking religion or anything. We're talking just the science of what you think about, you bring about. And if it's always a negative thought, you're going to constantly be bringing negative thoughts, negative actions to yourself. And he went through that for a good half of his presentation, if not more. And he did that because that's where it all starts. And you have to have that positive attitude about everything, or it's not going to connect and it's not going to work. Because if every time there's a speed bump or a challenge and you go, here we go again, it's always something. I always get something. It never works out for me. Well, that's the message you're putting out to the universe, that it never works out for you.
And it will come back to you just like that. And I can only say from going through these courses that we always say it's inexplicable things happen when you're putting out positive. Like you'll get signs, you get things from the universe that everything is happening. And again, it's not like foo-foo stuff. This is like thousands of years of science. So we just want to encourage everyone. And what I guess we want to find out is, what did you take away from this weekend that you feel from a mindset standpoint or from a business standpoint that you need to do differently going forward from today? what do you feel? And if you don't want to share, that's fine. But if you want to share, we want to go around. So I'm just going to say, who would like to share what they would like to move forward? And let's keep it to a minute each person, so we have time to go through our other stuff tonight. But what do you want to be able to do differently going forward now that you've gotten the training you got this weekend behind you, to be able to grow your business? So what I'm going to do first is, who wants to answer the question? Raise your hand so that we know who to pick on and who not to pick on. Okay, so I'm seeing that Maria wants to go and Laura wants to go. Keep your hands up. Maria, Laura, Emily, Tracy, Charlotte, Ellen. Okay, I think I got everybody. Okay, so Maria, you're in the top left corner with a double face. So we're gonna let you go first.
Sorry. I have this whole sheet of little, you can't see because I have that stupid background. I did this sheet from Lauren's talk, and she hit me hard on Sunday. So I took this out this morning, and actually I read it last night before I went to bed, and I took it out this morning and I read it again, and then I read it again right before I got on here. But she had a lot of nuggets that really hit me. And one of the things she said was, schedule everything. Don't just keep doing easy things because they won't give you traction. And I find that I tend to do exactly what she said. You know, I have every good intention when I wake up in the morning. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then I get sidetracked and I start doing something, and then I go do something else, and I never get to that list of things that in my mind I said I was going to do. So I have to literally write myself a checklist and start doing that. And then the other thing that she said that really, really, I mean, they were all great things. She had so many good things to say, but I loved her, stop dating the dream and marry the reality.
That's huge.
Absolutely. So Maria, real quickly, what are you going to actually do differently? Are you going to create a checklist every night, or are you going to use the basic accountability checklist? What are you going to do differently to be able to make that happen, that you schedule it and do it?
Probably a little bit of both, because I need to do it for more than just this. I find myself going off course all day long, whether it be from work, from this, from personal things I thought I was going to get done during the day. So I just have to, like she said, start writing things down, and this is what I'm going to do today, and I have to do it.
And then I want to encourage you, and this is for everybody, to prioritize those, because like you've seen, excuse me, you've seen JR's visual that he does with the jar and putting the rocks in first. Okay. So making sure that you're putting the most important things in the jar first, because you can fill it up with sand and or pebbles, and you can fill it up with sand. And although you think the jar's full, you can still fill it up with water. So you put the most important things in first. So just prioritize your list each day so that you get the things that are going to guide you towards what you really want out of life that you don't have currently.
And Charlotte and Linda and I kind of made a little pact last night, so.
Okay. So you're going to have your own little accountability group?
Kind of, sort of.
Good.
Okay, good. Good. Awesome. That's excellent.
And for everybody else, the reason we're doing that is we all have a lot of people in our hometown that we've never really shown the business to in any way. And we thought, well, if we pooled our resources, maybe we could get a better turnout and try and get some traction in one town that none of us live in anymore.
Totally agree. I think that's a grand idea. The one thing I would recommend, because I know, Charlotte, you texted me to ask me if I had anybody to plug into that. I think that's going to be really important for each of us to make sure that we share who we're contacting, so we're not double, tripling, and quadrupling people.
Yes.
Because then we're going to have everybody running. So I think that if we can just all in a text group separately, just share who we're going to be reaching out to, I think that would probably be really smart.
Good idea.
Okay. So Charlotte, you're next. So go ahead.
My overall takeaway is I'm still listening to some of the things I missed on Friday. Was that I loved all the new products and everything, but a lot of the business building and mindset things, because I have been in business a while, I was like, I know this. I mean, I was hearing it again, maybe sometimes for the second or third time or more. And I'm like, I know this. I understand this. It's not like I haven't learned a lot. I think what made me realize that I was sabotaging myself, because I know this. I've learned how to do a lot of things, but I think it really is my mindset that I self-sabotage myself. And I'm the only one that can fix that.
I can't even tell you. I mean, that's a huge recognition. It's almost like an alcoholic recognizing they're an alcoholic. Honestly, I mean, you can't change that situation until you recognize it within yourself. So it's the same thing with mindset. You can't change your mindset until you recognize it within yourself that you have a challenge. And I know Katie's on here. Katie's actually one of the Master Key coaches, and she's been through the course. And Denise has been through the course. So they both know that it's all about mindset. And it's very common, Charlotte. It's not an uncommon thing that we self-sabotage. I would say most people self-sabotage themselves, and we have to break that outer shell off. I mean, we refer to it in the Master Key as the concrete on the Buddha. And there's this brilliant person inside of there just waiting to get out and be everything that you are meant to be on this planet. And we just layer concrete on top of concrete on top of concrete on ourselves. And all we have to do is start chipping away at that concrete. And as we chip away at it, little cracks happen and then little chunks fall off. So I agree with you. I really encourage you. I would encourage anybody that wants to do that kind of stuff to really dive into the Master Key experience. But it starts the end of September. And I will say it's very, very heavy work it's a huge commitment to yourself. So some of you, like Charlotte, you just started a new job. It might not be the year to do that. It only takes place once a year and it's 6 months. So it's one of those things. But if you're ready for something like that, then I encourage you, ask for more information so we can share it with you.
Find some books and things, yeah.
What was that?
We can find some books and things like that to start.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to actually add some things in as we go forward. We're going to start working on bringing a little bit of that to these calls, because obviously we can't dive in like we do in the 6 months. But we can at least bring a little bit to be able to help everybody.
That'd be great.
So
Awesome.
very good. So I'm trying to take notes so that we can come back to all this later times. Stacia, you did not raise your hand, correct? Okay, Laura.
Well, I find that the challenges, and that really hit home when Colin was talking, after absorbing the weekend. Of course, Lauren, I think, reached in and kind of squeezed everybody's heart with her words in what could be holding you back. And I just referenced it when I was, I think I shared it with you, Beth, when I really felt why I really felt like when I was, believe it or not, paddling a kayak, and I couldn't go any further. My arms were just like mush. It was just a week ago. My daughter, took me out and she said, well, we have to get across this channel, so let's speed up. And that was like 20 feet to go. And I said, speed up. I said, I don't think I can speed up to the channel marker and then get across the channel. She goes, but we have to get momentum because we got to get across before all those boats come. And I said, all right, well, let's go. Well, my arms were burning. I hadn't done that intense exercise in a while, upper body like that. And we get like 5 feet from the channel marker. I said, whoa, stop, Jules, I can't. I said, I gotta shake it out. And so we started sprinting after about a 5-minute rest, and we get halfway into the channel, and I said, I'm done. I said, I'm done. My arms, I have got nothing left, Julie. I said, and she's auditioning for Survivor. And I said, you have got a bum partner here. I said, so you're going to have to finish the race on your own. And she says, Mom, look at all those balloons on that island. I said, honey, all I see is the sweat running down your back. She goes, no, look at those balloons. And I peeked around her because she was sitting in the front. And then there's my granddaughter jumping up and down on the beach. Grandma, Grandma. And all of a sudden, I just started paddling. I don't know where the strength came from. My arms didn't burn. I wasn't even thinking of it. And I got to that island. And it even makes me well up a bit because that's what it feels like. JR does that a lot on stage. But if you don't have your why, you're not going to get through that pain. And so through the whole convention, I kept feeling that and then redid my goals to really have that focus. And then the missing piece is the challenge. Because for me, I'm competitive, and a checklist is mostly with myself too, but with a checklist, that's fine. And I'm, telling Beth what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, and, get a kick in the butt every once in a while. But the challenge is to a bigger whole. And not that I really don't need the recognition, but I just like accomplishment. But I know that's the piece that is going to get me to where I need to go, because it's just another layer of accountability. And
I'm just going to cut you off, Laura, because you're waiting for your minute.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. We want to make sure everybody has time to go. So I'm going to have to play bad cop here.
Oh, that's okay.
But yes, I think that's awesome. And I think we all can learn something from that, because some of us have that competitive spirit in us. You have to recognize that if you do, because I just got a text earlier tonight from somebody that's really competitive and knows it. So it's about finding that, competitive spirit, and finding what's going to feed that. So awesome. Lynn and Walter, you did not raise your hand, correct?
Lynn did.
Oh, Lynn, you did. Okay, go ahead.
My biggest thing was, I love Fat Joe when Fat Joe was talking, Elizabeth and Lauren. They just said so many really good things that resonated with me, because my biggest thing is, that fear of rejection, that fear of no, just looking back, to people I know. And Elizabeth, she really got to me, because she was like, just go out there and you don't have to say a lot. And that's my problem. I feel like I need to explain myself all the time. And she was like, just, put eyes on it. Just look at it. She said, don't tell them anything. Just have them, ask them to put eyes on it. She said, if they say no, next.
That's right.
That's what it was funny, because I had sent information to a friend, and I touched base with them yesterday, and I was like, so did you review, did you look at the email I sent? And he's like, yeah, I'm a Western medicine kind of guy. That's not something I'm interested in. I was like, okay, not a problem, next. I said that to myself last night, okay, next. Don't focus on the no. Focus on, okay, who's next? Who's next in line? Who can I go after? And it was actually one of our high school friends last night. She blew my mind. When I said to her, would you do this for me? She came back so fast. Before I even had it sent off, she's like, absolutely, I would love to. So it's like, oh my gosh.
Was that Carol? Was that Carol, Lynn?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So those are great takeaways. And you guys, I just want to say, because this was your first real event, that's the power of the events. We can't give people that. So when you're talking to somebody moving forward from today now to the next events, that's the power of the event. We can only give people so much, but when you go to an event and you're hearing from this person after this person after this person after this person, certain people relate to certain people and the takeaways, and you don't know what nugget somebody's going to take away. And that's why the events are so important. Instead of us trying to just blah, 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 convince. It's about going to the event and getting what you can take away that's going to make you move forward, make that person that's your partner, your guest, move forward. So I'm excited that you finally got a major event under your belt. I think it put a fire under you know what. And I could see that because hearing from you and Walter, I mean, I can see that it's exciting. It's exciting that you're going to be able to move forward. So I think that fear of failure is a lot of people. A lot of you can probably sit there and say, yep, I can relate to that. Fear of no, fear of what do they think. It's not anything about what they think because there's nothing to think. You're just asking them to evaluate something. And if they say no, it's just not the time for them. And that's okay. And I've had so many people say to me, you know, after I go through the whole thing, it may or may not be a fit for you. I really don't care if you do this, but you might be able to connect me to the right people. And they come back and go, this just isn't the time for me. I wouldn't be able to do this right now. I wouldn't be interested. And I'm going, I didn't ask you to do anything. All I'm asking you for is for 30 minutes to evaluate something for me to see if you can help me. But that takes, like you said, kind of going, you got to get past your mindset of rejection, and you just have to say next. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
And remember how many times you said no to somebody with this.
How many?
I was 4. I think Lynn, you
Put it in my face.
And
4
part
years.
of that is having the mindset of you have to know that the yes is coming and not be turned away by a no and just put it aside and move on.
Because it may come
That's
back.
the affirmation that every day you are going to meet somebody and you're going to meet that person that's going to change your life and you're going to change their life. And there's an affirmation every day that you're going to meet that person and you're going to be the best person you can be so that you're going to attract that person to you. Because if you're giving off these vibes that I'm not sure I'm good enough, guess what? You're not going to attract the person who's looking.
So a good question to ask every morning is, who can I help today?
Yep.
Who's going to come in my path that I can help today? And it might not be this business. It might not be these products. It might be another way that you give somebody directions. It might be that you just make somebody smile and laugh. Who can I help today? Who can I make inspired today? You know, I always say those are the kinds of quotes that I have on my, right now I don't because we haven't decorated yet, but those are the kinds of quotes I have on my desk, on my mirror, on my walls, things that make me ask myself, who can I help today? Who can I inspire today? How can I move forward? How can I help someone move forward today? It's not about helping the low lying fruit that aren't gonna do anything to help themselves. That there's nothing wrong with helping somebody who can't help themselves, but that's not what you're looking for in business. Okay. Good. Going on, I think the next one was Emily.
Yeah. So everybody has made really good points already so far to what I've kind of marked
Emily,
off my
can you
list.
lean in a little bit closer to the computer because you're not very loud?
Oh, okay. What about now?
That's better.
Okay, deal. But I did love, I kind of resonated a lot with a lot of different things that you guys said, but the number one thing for me is, I want to commit to a lot more videos. It all boils down to kind of confidence whenever you're flowing through these conversations with people. And in order to be confident, it boils down to how much you know and how much you're digging into it and how much time I'm putting into it. So I need to start finding those things that I'm willing to give up so that way I can make more time for that, because that is, like you were saying, it's what's important to you on your schedule. And even more so going into actually writing out that schedule. I write out my schedule as far as work, but I don't think I've been considering this as work as well too, and not as much, at least for my goals for what I want it to be. So I personally need to step up on that, and that's just a couple of things that I want to change.
Huge.
And I listened to that stuff yesterday, my whole 7-hour ride home. And there's so many different points that Lauren was saying that I was getting hurt that I don't need to be listening to that while driving. But I absolutely loved, and I'm so glad that I listened to it yesterday. So if anyone hasn't listened to it, definitely go back and listen to her part.
So that's a huge takeaway, but I just want to say this. We all need to give this girl congratulations. She drove 7 hours to be with us and 7 hours home. And we've never met in person before. So
So glad I did.
spend the
So
week.
excited to meet you.
And she made the highlight video.
Yes, she did.
Can you do
Oh,
that
you
dance
guys did
again?
as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so very good. So yeah, so that, again, kind of like Maria said at the beginning, scheduling things to make sure, and I love what you said, you know, I do that for my job, but I don't do it for this. We have to treat this like a job at the beginning because it's no different. You opened a business. So if you opened a business that was brick and mortar, do you think you'd have to unlock the door and show up every day? You do. But the thing is, this is in the nooks and crannies, and it can be done in and around everything that we do. And so we just don't treat it as wholly as a business. But it can pay you ridiculous amounts of money and have leverage. So I just really want to encourage all of you to do a better job of scheduling it into your day and into your week if it is a priority. And if it's not, and that's okay, because everyone's goals are different. But if it is your priority and you want this to pay you like a business, then you're going to have to do those things. And it's kind of like, I always say this is university on wheels. We can have our headphones in no matter where we go. I mean, basically, when I go to the gym and get back to the gym again, I don't ever do a workout without listening to audios, ever. Because I can double dip. I can get my workout and listen to audios at the same time. So I just want to encourage you, make sure you schedule it so that you get what you came for.
Can I add one thing to that?
Mhm.
One of the things that the last thing I went to, they talked about this being a part-time business, not a spare time business. And so for me, I was having no problems figuring out what days I was going to do what work business-wise, but I wasn't scheduling in the other parts of my life that I needed to, like going through my emails and looking at my social media for a time frame and watching the videos and spending time with my husband, like doing some of the things. I actually found I had to schedule not just stuff for Mark and Mary, I had to schedule my whole day because I found that if I got up half an hour earlier in the morning, I get all my social media and email out of the way at 7 o'clock in the morning before I went to work at 7:30. So I just was trying to figure out how to get everything done because with working so many hours. So I listen to the audios or the videos while I'm cooking dinner.
Well, and another way of looking at it is prioritizing what you want out of each day. And you don't get to do the fun things that are lower priority until you finish the higher priority things. So it gives you kind of an incentive. If social media is one of those things that you allow yourself time, you don't do that until you've done the other things. And then you prioritize and you say, things for work that I have to do are first, contacts second, follow-ups, and then social media, whatever it is for you. But don't start with the fun things because you'll never get to the things you have to do.
Excellent. Ellen, I think that you raised your hand. You're muted. You need to unmute. We can't hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can.
Okay. Sorry, I had
That's all
problems
right.
getting on
Happens
here.
all the time.
For me, I want to say that Lauren's speech resonated with me the most. But I also realize that I need to really work on my mindset. That's exactly my whole issue. And I've made my life very comfortable. Like I am, in the same job I've been in forever. I have surrounded myself with the people who are positive for me. I've weeded out the rest. And I've made it very, very comfortable, and I am very happy every day. But I don't do anything outside of that comfort zone, because I think it paralyzes me to think about it.
So I will say this, everyone needs to give her a hand right now because this is huge, you guys. Ellen didn't want to get on here because she didn't want to talk, but you raised your hand as soon as I asked who wanted to share.
Yes, I got to get out of the comfort zone. I got to change my inner talk. And because I don't feel like, I don't know how to put it. I don't know what my why is, and I sometimes don't know what my purpose is. And that leaves me feeling unfulfilled. So I've got to find that something to get rid of that unfulfillment feeling.
Mhm. But here's the thing, you would not still be here all these years if you were fulfilled. You keep coming back because there's something here that fulfills you on some level, but not completely.
Right.
So I agree with you that we just have to figure out what is that why and what is that fulfillment. And it's probably not money for you as much as it is just for personal fulfillment of success.
Or helping
Right.
others.
Right. It's not money for me. I've already determined that. Yes.
Yeah. And quite honestly, Ellen, for most people, it's not money. Once you get beyond, it's like peeling an onion. Everyone starts off by saying, I want to make more money. And you start peeling the onion and it gets down, why do you want to make more money? Well, I want to do this and that. Why? Because I want to spend more time with my family. Why? Because I love my family and I don't get to see them enough. So no longer is it about the money, it's about the time.
Right.
So the deeper you go, the more you realize money is nothing more than a tool to get you what you really want, which is generally, for most people, and I'm not saying it is for you in this case, but for most people, it's time. Time to do something or time to do something with somebody.
Right. Right.
And then there's also helping, because there are people whose main focus is to help others, and that's their primary focus.
Yes, and I like to do that, and I do that on the scale that I can do, with my money and things like that. So I would like to do that, more of that.
Yep.
So yeah, so draw on that as you start putting your goals together, draw on those types of things of what really would mean, like where would you put that money or where would you put that time that, you wanted to give back? Because Katie, it's give more, get more, right? Oops.
I hit the wrong thing. I was trying to unmute. Yes, absolutely. I was smiling as she was talking. I'm like, finding your purpose is definitely something out there to do, for sure.
I have to show you my shirt I have on today. Can you read it?
Give more than you take, love more than you hate. Love it.
Nice. You said giving more, kind of.
Yep.
Awesome. Love it. Maybe that we might need that shirt too, but that's another meeting.
Hey, Ellen, this is Amanda. I just wanted to encourage you that maybe you could ask the 3 people that are closest to you what they see in you, because you sound like somebody that might be a little shy, I can hear. And so just wondering what your purpose is and maybe, what that calling is or what you're going to find in this business. Ask the people closest to you, because they know you and they know your heart and they see things in you that you don't see. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to ask maybe 2 or 3 people that you trust and just see what they say and be open.
Okay. Good suggestion. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Tracy.
Hi.
Hi.
So my takeaway from the conference, and I know I told you guys, but was when Elizabeth Weber had her 4 girls on the stage, and they were talking about just getting out there and just telling people about the business. I mean, 2 people a week, and how, if they don't want it, then that's their loss. Keep on moving, just keep going, and just, and it's like, don't be afraid of the no, just put it out there, and if I mean, and it's nothing that we haven't talked about, but for some reason with those ladies on the stage and Elizabeth Weber up there, it just kind of was like, yeah, I just need to start contacting people and again, it's getting out of my comfort zone too. Ellen, you're not the only one. So, that really resonated with me. But on a side note, I don't think Lori is on here, is she?
No, I don't see her.
Okay, she had some bad news about a friend today,
Oh,
and
no.
she was kind of a mess. So I think that's why she didn't get on tonight.
Okay.
But just a little quick story I want to tell you. After you guys left the house, the lady that she talked to, went and talked to at dinner, who had just lost her husband, came by in the golf cart, and she went out and talked to her. And Lori and I in Miami were out and was asked what we were doing or why we were there, whatever. And Lori and I are like, so we were talking about how to answer that question. And I think it was 10 or 15 minutes after you guys left, she came by and the lady said, oh, what do you do or whatever? And Lori had an answer for her, and they agreed to go to lunch.
Yeah.
So Lori was going to tell her story tonight. And since she's not on here, I wanted to tell it because it was just so, it was so perfect that we had just talked about, you know, what we say when people ask that question. And so anyway.
Do you remember, Tracy, what because we talked about a couple different things that she could say when people asked that question yesterday. Do you know what she actually used yesterday with her?
I think she might have said, I own a health and wellness business. I think that was, I think that's what she used.
Okay.
But, and the lady's like, oh, well, you know, I don't know. And Lori said, like, what do you do? And whatever she said. And she said, oh, we should go to lunch. And Lori said, great. So.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I thought she'd be on here tonight, but she wasn't doing well.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And text me later, please.
Okay.
So I know what's going on. Awesome. So again, we were talking about that yesterday after everybody had left. And I know you guys, I just want to bring this up because on bv411.com, which is our personal website, is the evaluation approach and the evaluation script. And that evaluation script is what you guys have to study. Because in that evaluation script is everything that each of you text me every single week. Is what do I say to this person? What do I say to that person? And it's in the evaluation script, and you have to get down what is it. So we need to practice that, not necessarily here in the Monday night, but you need to get in small groups and practice that. Your what is it? And it doesn't need to be like Elizabeth was talking about. It's not a long what is it. It's, you know, Lori asked me when Tracy was there yesterday, what is my what is it? And I said, I really have two what is it's, depending on what I know about the person. My first what is it that I use most of the time is I own an online health and wellness business. And what do you do? That's it. I don't, because a lot of you are saying, I feel like I say too much. If somebody says, what do you do? And Katie is a teacher, she doesn't go, well, I'm a teacher and I teach pre-K and I teach, and now I teach grade 4 through 6. And now I'm homeschooling, and she doesn't go into all of the like details about it. When somebody says, what do you do? She says, I'm a teacher. So I don't know why in this business, it happens all the time. People ask us what we do and we want to go, well, I own an online health and wellness business and I've got these products and it's kind of network marketing. And all of a sudden it's like,
and do you want to buy from me? Here's my card.
And red flags are going off everywhere.
Yeah.
So you want to really work on that. What is it? And it needs to be a short, concise statement that is really appealing to other people. So if I don't know anything about the person and I don't think they're into health and wellness, then I take more of a general business approach and I say I own an online business where we actually help people create additional streams of income. And sometimes I might throw out residual income. It just depends who I'm talking to.
You want to elicit questions, not answer them.
Real quick, I did get on and watch the tax videos, the ones that you posted on the BV411. And, you know, if that approach doesn't work, you know, people are trying to save money on their taxes. If they're looking for a business just to even, you know, write off stuff for taxes, you know, and then maybe they'll get more into the other half. But anyway, I was just thinking, because at one of the videos said, you know, so let's go find you a business so we could, you know, write off taxes or whatever. And it was like, there's another angle.
But Tracy, that's a great angle because you are around other people who are employees. That's who you're going to be talking to for the most part. So as a flight attendant, talking to other flight attendants that you fly with somebody different every time you fly,
yes,
you could so easily make that part of your, what is it? I help people not have to pay high taxes.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't look at you and say, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Especially single with, I mean, I didn't get any money back this last year. So
Yeah.
I am like
wait to see what happens next year.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm just looking for every little thing that I can subtract.
Just as an FYI, Amber Yang, who they showed several times,
yeah,
that's how she got into the business. Is she was looking for a tax deduction because she knew she needed something, and that's what it started with. She was looking only for a tax break.
Yeah,
and she found this. Now she's a multi-millionaire with tax breaks.
Real quick, one of the things that surprised me was if you have children, you can pay your children with a salary and deduct that, and it's kind of like giving them their allowance, only you're taking that as a tax deduction. I was like, wow, I don't have children, but wow.
We may have done that.
Does it let you do that if they're minors?
They have to be, I think, a certain age.
I think it's 12 or 14.
The tax videos are on BV 411.
I want to go look at that because in Missouri, man, they'll go after.
It's federal.
It's federal.
Yeah, but Missouri's going after sole proprietors this year.
But I think you said, I think they have to be like 12 years old or something like that.
I've got a 14-year-old.
Okay.
My kid just
turned qualifies.
Okay, Paul and Denise, I know that you were driving when we first started, so I didn't get to see. Did you raise your hands that you would like to share what you got out?
We had our hands full, so we couldn't raise them. Getting out of the car and getting into the house and trying to get the computer turned on and everything and getting the dogs out. So, but yeah, we will share.
Okay, can you get a little closer to the computer to share?
So just like everybody else, Lauren resonated with me, and I have to stay there because it reignited so much about my subconscious and what it has meant to me to delve into that. And so, so a couple of things that she said, in order to step out of your comfort zone, you have to understand what's in your comfort zone. And anything that you struggle with is because you don't have a program for it. And so I'm still peeling back the layers. I mean, I dug a lot out of it when I went through the MKE, but so I know that what I want to attract as far as who I'm looking for as a business partner are people like Elizabeth. You know, I'm real involved with Jocelyn's team, and she's got a couple of girls on her team right now that are on fire. And I'm like, these are the girls that I'm looking for. These are the people that I'm looking for. And I'm like, why am I not getting those? Because, so this is what I deciphered through, you know, trying to dig through this is, I am not competitive, not one iota. I have no sense of competitiveness in me at all. But that's where that fire comes from in these other people that I see. So that is my comfort zone. I am okay with not being competitive, and I'm comfortable in that little spot. But in order to be where I want to be from a business and leadership standpoint, I have to find that piece of me to bring to the surface so that I can attract those people. So that's something that I'm going to have to start working on and being willing to step out and, you know, participate in the challenges, because I haven't participated in the challenges because they didn't mean anything to me. On a personal level, it meant nothing for me to win that challenge. I didn't care. But from a business and growth and leadership standpoint, that is what I need to do. And so now I've got to do that. I don't really want to do it, but that's what I've got to do. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I took personally for, what I've got to start trying to do to reach the next level of where I want to go.
Huge takeaway, Denise. Huge takeaway. Huge takeaway. So I just want to say this. You are not competitive, and I already know that, but you are detail oriented. So Paul, so all you need to do is pull out those accountability sheets. Don't look at them as competitive, but look at them as your details of what you have to do in your work, in your job, in your business each week to make your business connect. And treat it more like your details of what has to be done, rather than competitive. I know that a lot of you are probably gonna go like, oh yeah, right. But Denise, I relate to that. I could care less about ever being in front of the room to be recognized. It is the most uncomfortable spot for me to be. I do not like it. I never have. I would much rather be up in front of the room training and helping people than ever tell my story. I have had to work on that all these 24 years and over and over and over again, because as JR says, you got to go where other people have not gone so that they can get belief in themselves to go there. So I could care less about a challenge, just like you, but I do them, and I do every one of them in hopes that I can inspire somebody else to get where they want to go. To me, it's just wasted paperwork, honestly, but because I'm not detail oriented either. So, but I do them because I know in this business, I've learned if I don't do them, that's what leaders do. So I had to do what leaders do. And I had to embrace the process. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
So did anybody else raise their hand that they wanted to share?
And Denise, can I just say something? It also goes back to what JR talks about in imprinting. If you do it, then your people will do it.
Right.
And if they're doing it, then their people will do it.
Yeah. And I have filled out the paperwork, but with not any passion behind it. Mm-hmm. So in order to attract those people to me, I've got to manifest the fire within me that attracts that. So it's not about the paperwork. I can do the paperwork, but it's the personal, whatever that is that I project.
That's right.
You got it.
You got it. Trust the process. It's part of the process. Excellent, excellent. Anyone else want to share before we move on into a couple other things? Paul.
I'll say a few things. I enjoyed Kevin Buckman. I always like to hear him talk. And Fat Joe. But I guess the best, what interested me, what caught my attention was that teenager from the Bronx, DeMar J. Smith.
Yeah.
Be a shark instead of be a fish. So I need to step out more. I wrote down I need to be more outspoken. But I can't be more outspoken. I need to be outspoken. More outspoken. What Ellen said, I'm a lot like Ellen. I'm complacent, or I'm comfortable where I am. Yep. But I need to step out or step up. And what we were talking about this morning as we were walking, anytime we meet somebody, I'm trying to begin having an internal conversation with myself or practice what I would say to that person, ask more questions so I can learn more about them, so I can write it down, and then we can incorporate that into our conversations next time.
Beautiful.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you know what, you guys, this is like music to my ears. Because here's the thing, you're a perfect example. They're proponents of the system. They give more, get more. And you guys are you're earning regular checks, but you're not earning the checks that you'd like to be earning. And but we knew there were some tweaks, and they just keep working on themselves and working on themselves and working on, and this past 3 months, you guys have grown so much. Like, we have seen the growth in you. And I realized we just duplicated ourselves because you guys are now having board meetings when you're walking.
We are.
So very good. Very good. All right. Anybody else wanted to share tonight that was present for the convention? Okay, I'm looking at everyone's little box here. Okay, so real quickly before we go, just do me a favor, go into the group from the convention if you were in it. I think everybody on here except Katie, I don't think you're in that group, to let me know whether you want to be included. You don't have to reply, but I'm assuming, does anyone want to be removed from that group? I know, Amanda, I already got your text. Does anybody else want to be removed from that group so that you are not getting text messages?
No, but it does help if everybody quits liking everything too, because every time you like something, it pings and it, you know, it's a lot.
Agree. So if we can just, I know you might love it or like it, but just, if something's posted, just accept it, embrace it.
I don't think I'm on the group, Beth.
Joan, I think, were you on, did we add you to the group this week, the text group this weekend that we were texting back and forth? No, okay. So, Stacia, send me her number. I think you did earlier today. I think you did. I'm gonna redo the group, so I will add you if you'd like to be added, Joan. Okay, so let me just add that.
Oh my God, so there's going to be another new group coming through?
Yeah, you're gonna have to delete this group, Maria, because there's a couple people that it's been too much and that they can't handle it with their jobs.
But I don't like to delete them because then I lose all the history.
We just don't get any more activity on them.
Yeah.
Let them sit there.
So Maria, you're gonna have to just manage and embrace the chaos.
Embrace the head.
Real quick, I want to say
you see me looking for that Zoom link on Saturday and Sunday. It was like I went into 15 group.
I know.
I just kept going through and I'm like, yeah, it must be in this one. And I'm scrolling.
So here's the thing. I'm going to send out, once I redo the group, I'm going to send out the recording from last night's Southeast Regional call. But I have a question. How many of you are already on the Southeast Region text group that you're getting the updates?
I'm not.
Okay, so Amanda, you're already on that?
I don't think.
And Maria, and okay, so Paul and Denise, Southeast, Laura, Southeast, Amanda, Southeast, Maria, Southeast. Okay.
I don't think I.
So when I send it out, when I send out the recording from Colin's recap last night, and the reason I'm gonna send it out is because he talks about the rhythm of the business and how all of the GMTSS works for us to be able to build our business. So I want you to be able to hear that and understand it. But what I want to do is I'm also going to put the phone number of the Southeast text group in my text. And all you need to do is text that number. Don't text me back. Text the number and say to add me to the group. And then they'll add you to it and you'll get the update. So like you're going to see like what I send you is not only the recording, but it's also going to have in all of the events that are going on this week in terms of what's available to you for Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday. Don't get overwhelmed. It's not for you to plug into everything. That's an option. I mean, that's if you want to plug in, feel free. But it's so that you have a calendar to be able to know what can I attend, what do I want to attend, and what can I invite people to attend. Okay, so that's why it's there for you. So there's a lot of stuff. We're very active in the Southeast. And if you, like, Charlotte, you're in the Mideast. Do you have a text group in the Mideast with events like that, or is that something that Colin's doing for us?
We have a calendar thing that gets sent out, but it's not as regular.
Okay.
You have to go in and look on like the Facebook page and things like that.
Okay, so yeah, so again, I mean, Colin's just, that's why they won the award. They're incredible leaders, incredible leaders. And
Beth, would you put me on that list? I don't think I get those texts either. Oops.
no, so Tracy, what I'm going to do, just text me back, or I won't put you on the list. You're going to text the number that I put in the text message to you.
Right.
And
Okay.
say, add me, because I have nothing to do with the group.
Okay.
Okay. It's run by somebody else.
Gotcha.
And so the only other thing I just want to say, and I put it in our message today, and you guys all hit it, it's mindset, it's goals, and it's action. And I want you, if you want to get connected to the checklist and the challenges, I greatly encourage you to send your checklist in. If you don't know what we're talking about, get with somebody and find out what that checklist is, because that checklist is what keeps you on track. And if you know that you want to start going for challenges and you don't know where to find them, then message us, message somebody on here that's a senior partner or mentor, and let us get you connected to those challenges, because you deserve to be recognized and you deserve to hit the goals you want to hit. But it all comes down to what your goals are and what your mindset is. And then you'll take the actions if your mindset's in the right place. So Emily, what do you have?
Who all in this group is a senior partner or a senior sponsor?
Good question. Senior partner for you is going to be basically Charlotte, who's up. Well, I don't know if you guys have the same thing. Charlotte's up in my top left corner.
No, not the same thing, but I know her. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
Deal. I just wanted to see also who else, besides always blowing you up, I want to see who else I can blow up. Sorry.
Okay. Ellen is also a senior partner. Ellen, wave your hand.
Hi.
And then Laura is also a senior partner.
All right, Laura.
And Pip. You can bother the heck out of him.
All right, cool.
Emily, leave Laura alone because I'm busy blowing up her phone.
Watch out, Amanda. She might be blowing up your phone.
You know, I just want to add on everything that we did learn over the weekend, don't put off implementing, because the longer it takes to implement, the harder it is to do. And like today, for instance, I had just so much going on with house and repairs, and my back went out and everything. But I had 4 people coming in my house, and because I rewrote my goals, I said, darn it, I'm going to talk to somebody. And they kept, Jesse kept coming back and forth, and some health issues here, health issues there. Every time I came in and out of the house, I said, okay, I'm going to be cheery. I'm going to, put out what I'm looking for. And I just made some health comments here and there. And then he said, well, what do you do? And I said, I assist health professionals to help create wellness programs for the benefit of their patients and also increase their revenue. And then he goes, that sounds really cool. And he went out, came back, and he goes, here's my uncle. His name is, Dr. Lopez in Tampa, and I'd love for you to call him and just tell him Jesse told you to call him. And I didn't ask or solicit that, but it is true what you put out. But if I waited a day or another day, I just know from experience, you start hiding under that rock again and you don't utilize it. So especially when you don't want to, just talk.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all of you for sharing tonight. Oh, Maria's got one more thing. Yep, we see you between your 2 heads.
Between my 2 heads. Does anybody want to see a preview of the Vegas shirt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah. So let me just say this. If anybody needs to run, I don't want to hold you here because I know some of you get up super early, but
right
if you want to stay, we can chat.
See, I don't know how well it's going to show up because that.
Still.
Oh, I see it.
Right
Hold
there.
it up just a little higher. Oh, Maria,
Nice.
that was great. Oh, we
Nice
lost it.
piece,
There-
Maria.
Where are you? Where are you? I can't find you.
Beautiful.
It looks awesome.
Looks awesome.
I made a lot of mistakes on this one.
I didn't see it. Dang it. I didn't see it.
Oh, you guys couldn't see it?
No, she went out of screen or something.
Everybody has to be quiet and not just her talk.
Should I get into a fight with this star flip thingy and get like free materials?
Are we good?
Yep.
Yay. By the way, Maria, thank you for what you did for the t-shirts for the past conference. They were awesome.
Thank you.
Thank our fearless leaders. My part was the easy part.
You did all the cutting and the shipping.
And Linda, you still didn't get your.
Mine someday.
Okay, well, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Make it a great week, right?
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Make it a great
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Yeah, we're back. Are we back? Can you guys hear us now?